Yeah, so this is kind of the finished sculpting of the spheres of Chynna Rogers. Chynna Rogers passed away last week at the age of 25. She was an up-and-comer in hip-hop in Philadelphia. She was also a model for the Ford agency. And so I thought it might be a nice tribute to do a portrait of her for a demo. Um, Yeah, the more interesting part of it, the process to me was the beginning with the spheres. So I'm trying to still come to terms with how to relate the second half of this sculpture to the first half of the sculpture. Because I think very quickly, which is a good thing, you can lose the spheres. You can turn it into uh, a more representational looking likeness, which is a plus, but there's something very structured looking about the spheres that I like. I think probably it just works better with an aged face or more angular skull-like face. She has a very soft face, very soft features, and so I think to make the spheres work, you're probably wanting to use less spheres. The more spheres you look, the more spheres you use, the more anatomical and the more structured and more harsh of a look that you get. So I think maybe I just have to keep trying different head forms and realizing which ones uh, lend themselves to a structured aesthetic that the spheres provide. Um, but this is the area where it's a new art form, and you're reinventing or invigorating traditional forms because it's a new medium. So just like any other medium, uh, you bring something new to the table with it. And, people right now are still questioning it, fighting it, fine artists, and that's fine. But you also have to look at it from a historical perspective where 100 years from now, they're going to look back at the work that represented that time when digital sculpting began. What was being done with it. Um, what is done 100 years from now is not going to look like what's coming from this now. So it's a window of opportunity to make a unique kind of looking artwork. So uh, I think a lot of it is a lot of people don't know how to access these skills. Well, that's what we're here to do. That's why you're in school, um, to pick up new skills, and if they work for you, then use it. Maybe it's not something you commit your life to, but it has its time and place, especially with 3D printing, where you can actualize these these models. Um, you can actually produce whatever scale, whatever material you want with these models. So it's not a bad skill to have. I'll explore different forms. It's possible that the abstract forms or mechanical forms of more interest than representational forms. Um, I think the representational forms are just the more difficult to pull off in some regard. There's more demand for, if you're looking at a likeness of somebody, there's a lot more critical evaluation that could be brought to the table by the layman, somebody who really doesn't know much about the form or the medium. So, yeah, I wanted to take it further, and maybe I will take it further. But I think it was still a project that could have been done from start to finish within a day, a reasonable 5 hours. Uh, it took me longer, a few days, because I started it over about 3 times, 4 times, just to explore the different possibilities along the way. Um, which I think is what you're supposed to do. Um, that way you have better answers. Always try a few different methods or explore your options. Um, that way you know it a little bit better. Um, it really works well. The transition from the spheres to the final really works well with the nose and the mouth. Uh, Eyes, you get some things in the eyes a lot quicker. Um, Also, the ears actually go a little bit easier too as a result. Um, I'm sorry I say quite a bit. This is it's kind of difficult to narrate your video as you're watching it. Apologize for that. Look as many references as you can. All right, thank you.